Welcome back, everybody. So we're going to be doing annual analysis or trending as a means to estimate the performance of the safety program. This is just one perspective on how the safety program is performing. It's not the end-all, be-all. But from the perspective or the context of the workers' compensation benefits paid, this is an estimation we're going to make. I told you early in the semester, the actual evaluation of the safety program comes in many different forms, from many different perspectives. It's just one of them, and this is the one we're doing. As you can see on the screen, this is the assistance document. We completed the outliers analysis in the last video, and what we'll be doing now is trend analysis. So we'll be completing this table here, with and without. And what I'm going to show you is when you do the calculations with the outliers in the data, all you do is copy that to a new page and then cut them and put them below, and then this table automatically updates. Though we're going to have to alter the ranges because this gets a little bit tricky, but not too bad. So this is what we're going to be doing. So here is our data set. So I'm going to go back to the tab with the outliers still in there when we evaluated them. Copy. Paste. Okay. You know what? No, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to do it with the outliers removed and fix it that way. I think I had brought that up in the last video, but move. There we go. I'm going to bring this over. And I'll show you why in a moment. So, all right, now I've got this one. So the outliers, so I can put these back up there, and that's why I wanted to do it, is to show you. So here's all we have to do. Highlight the rows. Control X, that's cut. Then we go back up here. Hit paste. Control V. And everything, you see, we've got our outliers right here, and everything has been updated. And now what I want to do is I want to sort to make sure that we are chronological, because this is an annual analysis. Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to create a fiscal year representation based on the lost date. I forgot about that. That's my bad. I'm going to quickly just do this quick. There we go. So here's what we need to do. I don't know why I didn't do this before, but this is fine. It's all right. We're going to go data and filter, and we're going to filter by lost date, oldest to newest, and our IDs should be, oh, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. All of a sudden my nose is getting tickly. Okay, so now we've got everything by lost date. Now what we need to do is create a fiscal year representation. I don't know why I didn't do this before. Okay, wait, anyway, so lost date, I'm going to insert a column right here. And this is going to be we could call it policy year, call it fiscal year. I'm going to call it policy year, because this is our policy runs from September 1st through August 30th or 31st, whatever it is, September through August. Okay. So now what I'm going to manually enter the days. I'm going to take out date and put general. And so 2017. It's our policy year 2017. I'm going to write it twice. Of course. General. Now that I've got a series of 2, I can left click when the cursor goes to the smaller version and drag it down. And I'm going to drag it all the way through the end of August of 2018. There we go. See how I did that? So we could have done calendar year, but what this did is it allowed me to get a full policy year. And a lot of the EMR calculations and investigation we're going to do is going to be within the policy year. So this is a better way to do it. All right, so 2018. And I got to turn these back in. So this is kind of ridiculous that we have to do this, but whatever. Oh, I didn't type that in right. Series of 2. Click and drag. Going to 2019, August. I'm just going to quickly turn these into general. This is 2019. Again, policy year 2019. I'm glad we're using the term policy year instead of fiscal year. I am. And again, it just oh, wait. We go from 9 to 8 of 2020. Ooh, that's short. Interesting. Okay. Next will be 2020. And again, I'm not destroying data. I'm just providing a different way to look. So the claims have a claim date. I'm creating claim years, kind of, in a way. A policy year. Okay, there's 2020. Now we go to 2021. I get a series of 2 going, and click and drag. The other thing is good practice for you, because we'll be doing a lot of this kind of work. Goes to 821. And, oh, I gotta turn these 2. I could probably just turn all these into general. And then 2022. So 2022, only a few months. So obviously we won't be able to trend with that because it's an incomplete year. We're going to see how many open claims are in 2021 to see if we can use that in our trend analysis. I mean, we can use the count of claims because that's not going to change, but the total amount paid may change if the claim is still open. We won't know. All right, let's see what we have down here. So I'm going to keep these 2 because if I remove the top one, see right now they're equal because the outliers are in here. We're not going to need these anymore. Those are in a different tab. I'm sorry, my nose is running. I don't mean to be snorting on the video like that. That's gross. So this is going to be policy year trend. Evaluating the performance of the safety program. So everything here is looking good. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy over the row header. And I may have to do some stuff to it. Copy. So I'm going to go 3 over from my first one. Is that right? 2 over from my first one. Let's try this right here. Did that work out? It did not. Because I want to be exactly above. Hit Z to go back. Go right here. Paste. So my indemnity and my medical, my total, it's straight up and down. It's everyone's preference. It's how I like to do it. And I've got all of my headers here from the... make sure you check to make sure. I had made a customized one. And so you could just type these in. Yeah, go ahead, just type these in. And then you'll be good. So what are then it's not year, it's policy year. Let's keep everything consistent. And if it's like that, what I can do is do the text wrapped and then it bumps it up and down. All right. So policy year is under which column? Policy year is right here. It's under F. Policy year is under F. All right. Oh, I got to blow it up so you can see it. 140. All right. So what are the years did we capture? We captured 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. But that's a partial year. And then we're going to do a total. Got to check our work always. And I'm going to have to fix the... Hold on. I'm going to highlight the entire spreadsheet. Turn everything to Arial. Much, much better. I'm going to go Arial 10. Yeah, that's better. We're still at 140. All right, I can bring... There we go. All right, so shrink that a little. All right, so we want to know the number of claims in all the policy years. So here's what we do. Equal count if. Now count if, what you do is you designate a range of cells, and then you give it a designation by which to count. Count if parentheses. My range is F2 to F, is it 206? I'm just going to make sure. Is that what the last line is? Yes, 206. And what I want it to count is what's in this cell right here, 2017. Counted 29. Center it. Now I'm going to do the freezing thing. I'm going to put a dollar sign in front of the 2 and a dollar sign in front of the 206. So now as I click and drag it, that won't change, but it will change the, let's see, it still went from 2 to 206, but then what it did is it dragged down the designation of what I want it to count. There. Now let's add it up. Hopefully it equals 205. If not, then I got to explore. Okay, it is 205. We're going to do something similar for these three. So it's U, V, and W. So I kept it consistent. So we're in the same row. It just makes it easier. Same column, sorry. Equal, but now we're using a sum if, because we're adding things up. It's the same principle as what we just did. So, but first we have to give the initial criteria. Sum if. What criteria? Policy year 2017. And I wanted to add up the indemnity for those years. So it's F2 to F206. So when sum if, when it's 2017, what do I want it to add up? U2 to U206. Right? Hit return. And now you got to turn that into currency, get rid of the pennies, center it. So what did I just do? So I'll click on it here so you can see how everything is. So here is what I wanted to add up if the criterion for this range is the 2017 for the first one, 2018 for the second one. Now if I want to click and drag this, I got to do something special. First, the initial range is going to be the same no matter what, because I'm going to be going up and down and left and right. So I'm going to put a dollar sign in front of everything here, F and 2, and a dollar sign in front of F and 206. So I've now frozen that column for the policy year. For the policy year criterion in the table here, what I want to do is I want it to go up and down, but not left to right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze the column, which is S. For the dollar amount of benefits paid, I want it to go left and right, but I don't want it to go up and down. So I'm going to freeze the up and down. I hope that makes sense to you, because by doing that, it allows me to click and drag. So first I'll go down and get these. I'll bring it over to here and get those. I'll add them up. And we used to type them in all individually. You can do that if you want. But I find it to be much easier by freezing the cells. There we go. Now I can check my work by comparing some of these main things here. So the totals all check, so I know it's okay, just like I checked this. The average per claim is equal to the total paid divided by the count. Get rid of the pennies, center it, and click and drag this down. And I'm going to drag it all the way down to the bottom, because it's taking the total divided by the total, which is 6,381. And what's our average up here? 6,381. So again, I check my work again to make sure everything is there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a little exploration of the data. So the number of $0 claims per policy year, the open claims policy year, the percent that are open for that year. Here I can text wrap that. Text wrap that too. Text wrap that too. And kind of shrink these a little bit. There we go. Everything's kind of together there. All right. So here's what I need to do first, though. I need to know what the ranges are. No, I can, and it would be perfectly fine for me to go up here and write it down. So for 2017, it goes from row 2 down to row 30. And then to 2018 starts at row 31 and then goes down to 31 to 67. But there is an equation, an analysis approach that I developed to do it automatically, and then it's based on these initial counts here. And so I'm gonna just show you how I do this really quickly. So I'm gonna put it 1 away from here. So what I'm gonna do is, so it's going to be range 1, range 2. And I came up with this based on my experience in doing computer programming. Yes, I did do that. I actually learned Fortran when I was in undergrad, a dead language. But I also, when I was really young, my parents had gotten the Commodore 64. You won't know what that is. Ask your parents; they'll know what it is. I cracked the base language for that system and wrote myself computer games. I learned how to use a controller and built all that. So I was making Dungeons and Dragons games before Dungeons and Dragons games were actually a thing. But yeah, that's just me and my entertaining myself. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. The first entry needs to be the start and end. And since this is the total, so we are starting at 2, and we go all the way to 206. Okay, so I just defined the beginning and end. Then what we do is, so the range goes from, I'm going to go equal sign, and then I'm going to click on this cell. And so whatever I type in there, that'll be the first part of my range. It'll be the first thing. The range goes from 2 plus, and what I'm going to add is the count. So 2 to 29, that goes to 31. Now you'll remember that it actually goes to 30, and it's because it's not counting this. And so what I'm going to do is minus 1. 2 to 30. So this here is equal to this number here minus 1. So we basically took away that 1. And now if I click and drag this down, it does the same thing for me. It takes this number, it adds that, and it minuses 1. And this does the same thing. So watch this. So if I click this and drag it down, it should bring me all the way to... Uh-oh. What didn't it do? Did I mess up somewhere? It's that minus 1. Yes. That. Wait, that doesn't work. It should be plus 1. I bet you guys knew that, and you're like screaming at the screen. Okay, now I'm gonna click and drag this down. So you just gotta check your work. There we go. So if it goes from 2 to 206, everything has been accounted for. All right. All right. Now that I know the ranges, I can manually enter certain things here. And this sucks, I know, but this is good information to have. So the number of $0 claims for 2017 equals count if. The column is the total paid. So the total paid is W. So count if W2 to W30 is 0. So let's take a quick look at that. Scroll up here. So the total paids that are zeros, that's what I'm trying to count, the number of $0 claims for that year. And if I was to scroll over here, we'd see that 30 is the last claim for 2017 policy year. I hope that makes sense to you. In my computer brain, it makes total sense. Return. All right, I need to see those numbers, otherwise I can't calculate all this stuff. Okay, I'm centering everything. The number of open claims, so, okay, that was kind of confusing, wasn't it? So this is from column W. The open and closed claims, claim status is column S. Yes, okay, it's column S. This is column S. Percent open, max, this is again column W. And percent max per year. Okay, the rest will work out. So number of open claims, but there's also reopen. So I need to add that. That's a new, get rid of that. So that's new. And if you were to use the, here, I'm going to show you something really quick. The assistance document, again, so there's a little bit of change here. We don't have LAE, and indemnity and medical are flipped. The range I put in the middle, but I kept it over here. Just easier to do. Number of $0 claims, number of open claims, and then I'm going to do a number of reopen claims. And I don't believe I did that when I did my study before, so this is going to be new to me. Let's do it again. So this is going to be number of reopened. Number reopen claims. And because that looks horrible, I'm going to shrink this down just for the time being. I'm going to see how it's typed in there. Reopened. Opened. Reopened. And I'm going to put a space there. That doesn't look good, does it? Does not. Anyway, I'll fix that later. Okay, so equal count if S2 to S30. I really need to see the range to make sure so you can see it. So 2 to 30 under S. Count if blah, blah, blah. Now I got to put quotation marks. I'm going to say open. There are 0. Is it open or opened? Open and closed. Equal count if S2 to S30 is reopened. So if it's a word, you need to put quotation marks around it. So the percent open will be equal to the sum of the number opened plus the sum of this divided by the total count, which is 29. And that's going to be a percentage. So that is something I only have to type in once. I can drag that down. The max equal max. And that's again back in W. W2 to W30. WD30. Oh, so the column's not wide enough. Now it is. Get rid of the pennies. So I want to know what percent this has against the year. So what I'm going to do is equal that amount divided by the total paid amount for that year. I'll be able to click and drag that down. That's supposed to be a percentage, not a currency. How much influence does it have? 29%. See, that's substantial, isn't it? That's why we remove outliers, and we'll see what it becomes. But then I'll have to retype this stuff in because the ranges will all change. All right, so let's do this a little bit quicker. I should put on music or something. Okay, my mouse is stuck there. All right, so this is equal count if W31 to W67 is 0. Equal count if W68 to W... the phone never rings. Except when I'm doing this. W93. 144 is 0. Equal count if W145 to W195 is 0. Equal count if W... Sorry. I actually didn't smash the phone this time. W206 is 0. All right, let's see if we have it. So I'm going to add these up. We know the total number of $0 claims, right? It says 29. Here's 29. Here's 29. There you go. That's how we know. All right, open claims equal count if S31 to S67 is open. Equal count if S68 to S92 is open. If S93 to S144 is open equal count if S145 to S195 is open. Count if S196 to S206 is open. So now I can check my work just by clicking on here. So this from 2 to 30, 31 to 67, 68 to 92, 93 to 144, 145 to 195, 196 to 206. Let's add them up. And then we'll see how many open claims we have. It says 12 here. I can go up to this table here, and we have 12. So again, I'm checking my work as I go. Oh, can't type it in if I don't know. Equal count if S31 to S67 is reopened. Count if S68 to S92 is reopened. Equal count if S93 to S144 is reopened. Am I going to find any? Count if S145 to S195 is reopened. That's weird, right? Count if S196 to S206 reopened. Okay. There are 8 of them. I didn't have to do that. You can just count them. So let's see how many. Yep, 8. Okay, so percent opened. I can just drag it all the way down. 9.76. Is that what we got? Percent opened. I was looking at the wrong one. Open is 5.85. What? Oh, it's combined. It's this and this. So it's 8. No, it's 9.75. Is that what it is? 9.76. Rounding. Okay, very good. Very good. Okay. Now for the max. Equal max of W31 to W67. I'll fix that in a second. Equal max of W68 to W92. Equal the max W93 to W144. Equal max W, get that out of the way, 145 to W195. And finally, max W196 to W206. All right, let's get rid of the pennies on these. There we go. I'm going to click and drag this down. There. Lots of, each year has a max, except for 2022. That is substantial, though it's substantial for the year we're in, right? So, what's the next step? The next step is to do some scatter plot graphs. But first, we'll figure out an average as well, but let's see here. So we got to do some interpreting, everybody. So, percent open. In 2021, we have almost 18% of our claims are open. So these totals are going to go up. Right? 2022, it's an incomplete year, but that is, that's almost a fifth. Almost a fifth of the claims are remain open. It's only 9 of 51. Let's do it with and without and see what happens. All right, I'm going to get rid of this row. I don't need it right now. Well, I will in a moment. Just get it out of the way. All right, so I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do a 4-year average and a 5-year average. So 4-year average, and I'm going to do a 5-year average. So with and without 2021. So let's see what that is. equal average. We'll go 4-year. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2017 to 2020, and then we'll go equal average 5-year, all the way down to 2021. It's different. It is different. Let's see, account probably shouldn't, there should be a whole number. Let's go ahead and click on these two and drag it down to here. All right, and I'm going to turn these into currency. Now I didn't drag it under the average. Why didn't I? Because an average of an average is not a good thing to do. So what I'm doing is I'm calculating the average based on what the numbers are. Yes. And then for these, can we do that? Average open, no, not. That's about it. That's all we want is these numbers here. This stuff doesn't really, you can't really do the average. The averages of these wouldn't be, I mean, just looking at them, it's very lopsided. And so calculating the average isn't going to help. We'll take it for what it's worth. So here's our averages. It appears that a 4-year average is a little bit higher. 5 is a little lower, but the thing is, it's because this year, right here, what I was just pointing out is that is substantially lower than the rest, but a substantial amount of claims are still open, which means there's going to be more paid to them. That's all that means. I mean, unless they, if you can find a way to close your claims without paying extra, wow, you'd be a millionaire. That's not usually what happens. So I'm going to take the coloring out of there just because otherwise you guys will keep it in there and you won't know why. But that's the reason. I'm leaning towards using the 4-year right now. That's what I'm leaning toward because of, it's a pretty color green. Because of, I should turn this into a table, of course, because of this right here. Because of that. So you should be writing this down. I'm not writing it down because it's your job to be doing that. You're going to be writing notes. So at this point, I'm going to keep the 5-year here just as a comparison. So it is a little bit lower. Why is it lower? Well, again, almost a fifth, just under a fifth of the claims is gone. 20%. It's a fifth. So let's do some graphing. I'm going to do 4-year graphs, okay? I'm going to do 5-year graphs with the count. They're not going to change, but the paid total is going to change. So policy year count from 2017 to 2021 because it's a complete year. So I go insert and then I go to scatter plot. It's under the charts. And here is my count. Right here. I'm going to leave it here for the moment. For my total paid, I'm going to go and highlight, but I'm only going to go through 2020. That's correct. 4 years. And then I'm going to go insert, scatter plot. I got to see, and I really need to fix this one up because there's no x-axis. So I'm going to right click on one of the dots and go select data, and I get my select data source. So it's got this here. So I'm going to edit, click on the X values, put in the 4 years that we're using, hit the window, hit OK. Now it's added it. I could also add these as well if I want to, and I may as well at the first swing just to see what it does. But first, I think you notice that we need to fix something here. Let's fix the x-axis by right-clicking and hitting Format Axis. I don't want half a year, so my major unit is going to go to 1 and hit Return. And there it did it. We'll do the same thing over here. Not Format Data Series. Format Axis. Axis. And now it fixed it. All right. Now, one thing I want to do over here with the count is I'm going to, again, left click on a dot and go to Add Trend Line. This is going to be my ability to forecast to 2023. So what I want to do is go forward 2 years. Okay. I want to display the equation, and I want the R-square value. And the R-square value for this won't change much when we remove the outliers. It'll change substantially when it comes to the total paid. Okay, so what is this here? What's the title, or what are we doing here? This is the number of claims per policy year. Outliers included. I mean, I should put the years and stuff like that, but for right now, that's good enough. So this is the total paid. Let's do the same thing here. I'm going to right-click on a dot. I'm going to try to right-click on a dot. It's not letting me. I'm going to try it again. Because I'm looking for add trend line. I don't know what's going on here. Why is it not letting me do this? What is going on here? Something's not right. I'm going to scroll on and scroll off. That looks better. Add trend line. Okay, so Excel was in some sort of weird space, I guess. All right, I need to go forward 3 years on this because we only go to 2020. I still want to display the equation and the R-square, though. So there's that. I'm going to add the other, the indemnity and medical here, just see what it looks like. So I just go back to select data, hit add. The name of the next one's going to be paid indemnity. The X values are the 1, 2, 3, 4, because we're doing 4 year. And my Y series is the 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. I'm going to add one more. The name is paid medical. The X values is the 17 through 20. And the Y values is the 17 through 20. Okay. Hit OK. Why am I only seeing... Let's scroll down and scroll back up. There it is. This is weird, isn't it? I've had to do that. I'm going to right click on one of the dots. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to try that again, but I'm trying to add trend lines. I'm trying to trend it out to 2023. So 3, display equation, and R squared. I want to do the same thing for this one down here. Forward by 3. There. Okay. So because we have different lines here, we do need to add a legend. If I go up here to this plus sign, it says chart elements. I click on it if it lets me. There we go. So we should have access titles. We should have a chart title as well. And I want a legend. Now I don't necessarily need... here's the other thing too. I like to put the legend beneath so that we can see more. Now this is going to have to be... is elongated up and down? I can't remember. I'm going to insert some rows here to get that out of the way. So this video is getting a little bit long. I'm going to stop it here in a moment and we'll come back and finish. And then I'll show you what I want for the assignment this week. So this is the benefits paid per policy year, outliers included. Probably should spell out outliers, but right now this is good enough. So that's interesting, the trend, you know. So here's the principle by which we are operating right now. What does this stuff mean? So we investigated the number of open claims and number of $0 claims. The more $0 claims, the lower the average is going to be. So this is going to be probably the highest average. My goodness, and it is. Just by looking at this. Do you kind of see our most, that's still pretty high. But we get down here and it gets low. See what that means? That's what that does. The open claims means there's more maturity, more growth in the total paid still upcoming until those are closed. Because it's that high, we're not going to use it in our trending, because what it would do is it would give us sort of a false sense for the moment. And so we're just going to use the ones that are more reliable. Yeah, there's almost 4% open here. It's already high. So it's just going to go, it may go up a little bit higher, but not as significant as when you have almost a fifth of them still open. So, okay, back to what I was about to talk about, the principle by which we're operating. That when these claims occur, there should be an investigation and some sort of mitigating strategy put in place to try to prevent them from happening again. And you should be doing things to mitigate the severity of them. So over time, there should be a steady decrease. In this case, except for 2019, we've had an increase. Cost-wise, it's somewhat level. The R-square value is very low. You want it to be above 0.5 to make it somewhat. 0.5 is okay. You get above like 0.8, and then it's really good. The R-square value is the difference between the data points and the best fit line. So a high R-squared, which is 1, that's as high as you can go. The data points are directly on the best fit line. And that means it's a good representation. Not good. But anyway, the total is going up. The medical? No. Yes. The linear medical is coming down a little bit. That's interesting to me. The indemnity is going up. I would assume it would. Payroll is increased. We don't have a really good return to work policy. So that is going up. That would tend to mean the EMR is going to continue to go up unless this can be fixed. But the medical only, which we know benefits us in reducing the EMR, because again, medical only means, but again, this is medical for everything. So I'm sorry, I'm screwing things up here. Don't remove that from the record. What this basically means is, the performance of the safety program with the outliers included, something isn't working. There's opportunity here based on what we're seeing. In the next video, we'll remove the outliers and see if the R-squares increase here. They should. We'll have to recalculate these things here. It's possible maybe we can include 2021 with the outliers removed. That would be interesting too. But then we'll be able to make a definitive, more of a definitive response to how the safety program is performing. Basically, just raw data. Something different needs to be done. Whether we investigate things differently, we manage the claims differently, or we take a different approach to the mitigating strategies. If we don't, it does appear that the EMR is going to continue to go up and the annual premiums will continue to go up. That's what I'm seeing right now based on this. So make sure you save your work. That's something I forgot to say before. BC, you got to give it a new title. I'm going to hit save. Should have been doing that all along. In the next video, we're going to do it without the outliers, and then we're going to finish up the assignment.